Wales is wealth and fame, great big ears and a big long name. But our Marc Emery, he takes the spot. The whole world knows he's the Prince of Pot. He's the Prince of Pot. He's the Prince of Pot. Now shy, he's not. He gives it all he's got. He's the Prince of Pot. The Queen of Soul and the Duke of Earl, Elvis Presley and his Jungle Girl.
Passion, affections consumed and the fair. Must have acted like Viagra, that explains it there. Hate me now, clean your beat, don't. Hate me now. They're such good and they're so blatant on this.
It's such a lovely place. And I will tell you this, the police have been pretty friendly in this tour. I have not seen a police officer on this tour, so I hope it may... sometimes they say the best policing is the policing you don't see. That the public safety is maintained and cops are invisible, and that's how a peaceful society is supposed to look. So let's hope this is one of those days where everything, because it's a pot celebration, because you're all from the marijuana culture largely, we are the most peaceful people on earth. Nothing bad is gonna happen here. Right? Now, it's funny too, because I've been throwing parties for people. I wasn't necessarily supposed to start at this point. Remind me to explain what's going on. But anyway, well, I've thrown parties for 15 years and had up to 200 people. I've had tokers, bowls where people are smoking an ounce all weekend. And you know what? Not only have I never seen any violence, I have never even seen a loud argument at a pot party. I've never seen a loud argument. Now, I have never seen a bar in my neighborhood where people were drinking, where there weren't several loud arguments, and many people passed out on the street at the end of every Friday or Saturday night. Hopefully, as soon as we can. And people ever tell you, we don't need an election. Yeah, we do need an election. Now, I know Pat Martin. Is Pat Martin still the MP for Sudbury? Is anyone else? Yeah, is he the MVP? Yeah. Well, MVP, you keep voting for them with the Green Party because the Liberals and Conservatives passed a terrible law just before Parliament adjourned for the summer called Bill C-15. It's bad news. It's mandatory minimums. Every last one of us in a lot of ways. If you have as few as 5 marijuana plants growing, and you share it, or sell it, or distribute it to 2 more people, the government's calling that a criminal conspiracy, organized crime, 3 people are mellow. And it means a mandatory 6 months in jail if you get convicted of these new laws. It's the great work of our movement. It's the seminal work, and it was banned in Canada. And I couldn't believe that in Canada the government had the right or the power to ban things that were true and factual. And indeed they can. And the interesting thing about that at the time was that the marijuana literature ban had a $100,000 fine attached to it. Now, marijuana itself is only 6 months in jail, which is a lot, or a $2,000 fine. So I found it very interesting when I started this crusade in 1990 that something that tells the truth about marijuana that's printed
was 50 times more dangerous to the government, that is a $100,000 fine, than actually possessing marijuana itself. And that provided me with the greatest clue about why we are hunted down like animals all over the world, even though marijuana is one of the few things on this earth that will not kill you. Most everything that's legal will kill you. Most everything that's legal will kill you, and it's disguised as something that's good for you. Marijuana is amazing to treat things like you'll never get Alzheimer's disease if you smoke a joint of marijuana every day after age 52. There's not a single known study or single known example of anyone ever getting Alzheimer's who smoked one joint every day in their later life. And yet my mother died of Alzheimer's last year, and she would not smoke marijuana because she comes from a generation of depression where she only took what doctors gave her. And nothing the doctors gave her, in the case of Alzheimer's, had any effect on her in a good way whatsoever.
Too much salt kills people all the time, especially when you're old. Hypertension, high blood pressure, heart attack, brought on by salt. You don't even need salt, but salt in everything. You look at a can of soup, that can of soup often has up to 40% of your total daily salt intake just in that one tin. Canadians, they say, have bad taste buds, so everything's got too much salt in it. And not a single warning on any can that salt's going to kill you. Not a single warning on any piece of candy or chocolate bar, or certainly all the drinks we drink. You know, our body has evolved for 70,000, 80,000 years, and we never had sugar. Sugar was developed in the 1830s when cane sugar and its refining became possible in a legal environment. And we can make it so. We can do that. Amsterdam's given us the example for 35 years. When people say, why is marijuana still illegal if Amsterdam is such a beautiful place with all that weed? I've never met a single human being who went to Holland and thought, they're rotten people. They're a mangy, angry bunch of Dutch people. Look at them all wild. No, that's at a soccer game when they've been drinking maybe, but generally, if they're the pot-smoking Dutch, or the Dutch, it's a great, mellow experience. Everybody I ever met loved going to Holland and getting high. Holland's been a great example. What makes you think Canada be any different? And Canada smokes 3 times more weed than the Dutch. Canada is the leading consumer of marijuana in the world. So we should have a bigger imperative than ever before to legalize pot and prohibition, because more of us smoke it by capita than anywhere else on the planet.